Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Chicago Conservative. If you are a new viewer, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you are a returning viewer, then thank you guys for coming back. I really do appreciate it a lot, guys. But you already know what we're talking about today. Today, we're going to be talking about the vice presidential debate between Tim Waltz and J.D. Vance, guys. Now, me personally, I'm going to give you my input after I show you guys the video of the debate. But, I mean, J.D. Vance won this without even trying, guys, in my opinion, because the news basically thought that J.D. Vance was going to be this mean guy, this young, grumpy guy. Oh, Trump picked him because he's mean and grumpy and he's against abortion too. Roar! And all of this nonsense. But, man, J.D. Vance definitely proved them wrong, guys, because he was very nice. And I would say Tim Waltz was nice too, guys. This was a very Midwestern debate. Me personally, I just think that J.D. Vance, like, when it came to him not answering with Trump not accepting that the election was rigged, he had zero issues. But I cannot speak the same about Tim Waltz, guys. He looked nervous. He definitely wasn't prepared for this, unlike J.D. Vance, because he always does interviews. J.D. must be dancing right now, but J.D. Vance has done well over 100 interviews, I believe. But Tim Waltz and Kamala Harris combined has only done 24. That's not good for the Democratic side. And you have the Democrats actually giving JD his props for him being polite and nice during this debate. Now, they both were nice, even though Tim Waltz was lying. But, I mean, me personally, this debate was better than Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, guys. It wasn't better than Trump and Biden. I ain't gonna go that far. But this was definitely better than Kamala Harris in the Donald Trump debate. And the American people needed this. This was literally the last thing that either candidates could do when it comes to Republican or Democrats. This is the last word that you guys get in. Now, I know you're going to go to rallies and things like that, but those are people that are already decided voters. Me personally, this debate mattered, guys, and J.D. Vance definitely came out victorious. But, guys, let's just look at this video of J.D. Vance versus Tim Waltz, guys. Take a look at this. Roll the clip.
Accused Donald Trump of being an agent of chaos. Donald Trump actually delivered stability in the world, and he did it by establishing effective deterrence. People were afraid of stepping out of line.
When we start to see that type of fickleness around holding the coalitions together, Donald Trump's fickle leadership. Donald Trump is fickle.
If you blame Donald Trump, who has been the vice president for the last 3.5 years? And the answer is your running mate.
I've become friends with school shooters. I've become friends with school shooters. I've become friends with school shooters. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. That's the test. That's the Supreme Court test.
Tim, fire in a crowded theater. You guys wanted to kick people off of Facebook for saying that toddlers shouldn't wear masks.
Governor, that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska, town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I joined the National Guard at 17, worked on family farms, and then I used the GI Bill to become a teacher. My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that. I came back home and then started a program to take young people there. We would take basketball teams, we would take baseball teams, and we would go back and forth to China. The issue for that was to try and learn. Now look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that. Elected me to Congress for 12 years. And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people, working on things like farm bills that we got done. People of Minnesota were able to elect me to governor twice. So look, my commitment has been from the beginning to make sure that I'm there for the people, to make sure that I get this right. I will say more than anything, many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID. And I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community. And then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand what it is, whether it be through teaching, which I was good at, or whether it was being a good soldier or was being a good member of Congress. Those are the things that I think are the values that people care about. The issue on this is what happens when you don't want to solve it. You demonize it. Talking about and saying, I will create stories to bring attention to this. That vilified a large number of people who were here legally in the community of Springfield. There's consequences for this. There's consequences. We could come together. Senator Langford did it. We could come together and solve this if we didn't let Donald Trump continue to make it an issue. And the consequences in Springfield were the governor had to send state law enforcement to escort kindergartners to school. But by standing with Donald Trump and not working together to find a solution, it becomes a talking point. And when it becomes a talking point like this, we dehumanize and villainize other human beings.
Governor Waltz brought up the community of Springfield, and he's very worried about the things that I've said in Springfield. Look, you've got schools that are overwhelmed. You've got hospitals that are overwhelmed. You've got housing that is totally unaffordable because we brought in millions of illegal immigrants to compete with Americans for scarce homes. The people that I'm most worried about in Springfield, Ohio, are the American citizens who have had their lives destroyed by Kamala Harris's open border. And I actually think, I agree with you. I think you want to solve this problem, but I don't think that Kamala Harris does.
Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status. Right. Temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important
we're going to turn now to the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. An application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The CBP One app has not been on the books since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut. We have so much we want to get to. Thank you for explaining the legal process.
Walz did seem unsteady, and frankly, what I saw in Walz is somebody who has not faced questions on a national stage since he became the Democratic nominee. In contrast, J.D. Vance was very smooth.
I was getting texts from Democrats, panicked, quite frankly, who were saying, wow, he's really moderating himself on a lot of these issues. He's the most likable he has ever been.
He seemed at many moments to be reasonable.
Walz did not seem prepared for it.
I mean, a lot about this debate tonight was weird. There were uncomfortable, cringy moments.
There were so many niceties on that debate stage tonight. I am just kind of like, well, if you agree so much with J.D. Vance, why should they vote for you?
Now, I'm just going to say this. Tim Waltz, you have to do better. I'm not no Democrat. You know, I'm a Republican, but my guy, your eyes are literally bulging out of your skull. You look like Beetlejuice. Like, are you good? You look like you got sterilized with something. Why are you so nervous when they asked you about China? Because if you guys don't know, Tim Waltz has been to China well over 15 times. And this is when he was a school teacher. School teachers don't get that much money. And if I'm just going to be honest, guys, J.D. Vance played this out perfectly. The only thing I believe that Tim Waltz won on was abortion. That's the only thing. But other than abortion, J.D. Vance schooled them on everything, and especially immigration, guys, especially the border. He kept on doing, and what I wish Trump was doing during his debate, he kept on pressing the fact that why haven't Kamala Harris done this 3.5 years ago? If she said she was going to do all of these spectacular things, why haven't she been doing it? That is a fairly good question. And you got, now me personally, they were being a little bit biased. They weren't as biased as ABC. But you got to give NBC or whoever did this debate, whoever moderated this, you got to give them props when due. Because when Tim Waltz was asked a question about China, he definitely tried to evade that question, guys. Oh, yeah, I was raised up a school teacher. I was raised up middle class. He's using the same tactics as Kamala Harris with her debate. Like, it's not gonna work. All of this nice guy stuff, me personally, yes, it was good on JD Vance's side because people thought he was a mean guy. But when it come to you, Tim Waltz, this is what the left expect from you. They expect hate from you. They expect you to be mean and talk about JD Vance and call him weird. This is why the liberals was mad, and they had to give JD Vance this W. But me personally, I respect Tim Waltz for him just having a civil conversation, and I definitely respect JD Vance just stole the whole show. It's like, man, you can bring this guy anywhere now. This guy is invited to every barbecue. Because he touched on things that Americans truly care about. What truly matters to Americans, guys. That's the border. That's inflation. The economy. That's what, and foreign policies, because, I mean, we're technically in like 2 to 3 wars. So, me personally, it's like JD Vance won is by a landslide. It's not even close, guys. Now, I know I said the Trump and Kamala debate was fairly close, which when I did a little bit of analysis, I mean, I think Trump blew her out because she cheated. She was actually disqualified, in my opinion. But when it comes to JD Vance and Tim Waltz, JD Vance has done so many interviews, and he actually cares about the economy, unlike Tim Waltz. He want to quote Bible scripture and all of this. Like, dude, that doesn't help you. When you're killing kids, when you approve of abortions, you can't quote Bible scriptures when you do, like when you do stuff like that. You just can't do it. But like I said, guys, this helps Trump so much with women because women thought JD Vance was this scary dude. Oh my God, JD Vance, he's not for abortion and Project 2025, which they still fail to fact check Trump and JD Vance on. Project 2025 is fake. Project 2025 is not real. It didn't come from the GOP. It didn't come from Republicans. And it definitely didn't come from Donald Trump. Why is people not fact checking about this? And if I might add, I knew they were gonna bring up the racist thing. When it came to him calling Trump Hitler and all this and the third, and he basically he turned the table so good. This dude was literally Slick Rick. He turned the tables on like, yeah, I felt for that because of the rhetoric that you people preached all the time. But now that I actually met Donald Trump and been in the same room as him, and we talked about, policy, he's actually not that bad guy. I was wrong. It takes a real man to do that, bro. Unlike Tim Waltz. I mean, JD Vance didn't quit on his troops when he was in the military, but Tim Waltz did. And why is Tim Waltz hanging out with China Communist Party members? I don't know. I'm not really sure what he's doing, but I mean, at this point, that's a fairly important question that we need to know we definitely need to know what's going on with that at this point, because you could have been bribed for all we know. Why are you going to China 15 times as a school teacher? Like you got it like that, sir. I'm sorry, excuse me. Gee, I don't even know principals living like Larry like that. I know you guys hear me say living like Larry a lot. That comes from SpongeBob, okay? I used to be a SpongeBob fan. But guys, it's like JD Vance definitely won this. And with Tim Waltz not answering that question when it comes to him, he said he misspoke. He didn't misspoke. He lied. He lied. And he did it multiple times. Why is nobody fact checking him about lying? He didn't misspeak. He could have been corrected himself, just like he could have been corrected himself when he said he served in the military when he didn't. I mean, he was in the military, but he didn't go fight. And he didn't correct himself when people were trying to, ask him about that. I think that's pathetic. And I think Tim Waltz lost really, really bad. This is what happens when you don't prepare. This is what happens when you're fake, like Kamala Harris. This makes Kamala Harris look very, very bad. This is your VP pick. I love how these guys were agreeing, though. And that's crazy to me. How America hates this. The left hates this. You hate that, Tim Waltz is actually agreeing with JD Vance. Oh, if you're agreeing with him, you must just vote for him then. How stupid can you be? That is what Americans are supposed to do. That's why I like the debate between me and Caffeine Zombies. We weren't yelling and screaming at each other. Some of the things we actually agreed on, and we could admit to the things that we agree on. That's called that's democracy. That's true democracy right there. This was beautiful. If Tim Waltz, and I honestly underestimated Tim Waltz a little bit. I thought he was a babbling idiot. I thought he was just a drooling monkey, if I'm being honest. But Tim Waltz actually impressed me a little bit. But they couldn't really, agree on January 6th. That's the only thing that they kind of was bashing heads on. And it's like, Tim Waltz, you know damn well that these people did not commit an insurrection. If they committed insurrection, why did they get arrested for rioting? It's rioting, bro. It was just a really, really bad riot in Washington, D.C. It's not insurrection. Do you know what insurrection is? Insurrection mean I got the gun to the governor's head right now. I'm the governor now. I'm the captain now. And I got troops right here ready to shoot you if you disobey what I say. That's insurrection. I just explained to you guys a true example of insurrection. It has been real cases of insurrection in America. Look it up. If you read the real insurrection cases in America and you look at what happened at January 6th, you would literally laugh. You would laugh. Just like how they try to say January 6th is just like 9/11. Like, are you serious? You know how many people died on 9/11? Are you dumb? But anyways, guys, debate, beautiful though. Gotta give it to JD Vance. That's Slick Rick right now. He on top of the world right now. And Tim Waltz, even though you was a little nervous, even though you weren't really prepared and you agreed with JD Vance was a bad thing to the left, look, you can unsubscribe. I don't really care. I think Tim Waltz did pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. He lied a little bit, but it's always good to come to a common ground, at least a little bit in America. Democrats and Republicans are really never going to agree on pretty much anything. But for JD Vance and Tim Waltz to agree on certain things, man, that takes real skills, guys, in politics. And you got to hand it to them, guys. Like, they did a really good job. But JD Vance came out on top. And this makes Trump look good because he picked JD Vance to be his vice president. And I think JD Vance and Donald Trump are the best candidates for our country. I don't think Kamala Harris and Tampon Tim communist guy is good for this country. Especially now that I know this guy has been to China 15 times. Why? Like I said, JD Vance won. Tim Waltz, you need to do better. Get out there and start talking to people. You're calling, JD Vance weird, but you're being weird. Get out there and talk to some real people. Stop talking to bots, okay? And my thing is this. Why would you say that you talk to school shooters or school shooters? What is that all about, Tim Waltz? It's like you were doing good. I don't know if it's just Kamala is just that bad to where he was very articulate and well. But after he said that, it's like, Tim Waltz, you cooked. I don't know why you would say something like that. Kamala's votes should be plummeting now because this is her VP pick, guys. Do not forget. And JD Vance absolutely smoked this guy for breakfast. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button. Make sure you guys tune in next time. And make sure you guys check out that chicagored.org page, guys. You will not be disappointed. I will see you guys next time, and I am out of here. Peace.